Happy Friday to my basics bitches out there. This is Friday No Filter, where we unleash the rant on the basics of health. Each Friday, we tear down the glossy facade and dive headfirst into the nitty-gritty of what it takes to thrive in the chaos of modern health. No frills, no fluff, just straight talk about what matters. It's time to embrace the chaos on your own journey and give a big, bold middle finger to the status quo. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. Super excited to be here for Friday No Filter. Thanks for joining. If you get something from this, please rate the show, screenshot, share it. It helps me get out there, because I only get, word of mouth here, guys. So if you can pump this out, screenshot, share it on your socials, share it with a friend, even if it's not on your socials, it's okay. Because this is really how I get out. So I would greatly appreciate you. And I just really appreciate y'all showing up. It wouldn't be what it is today. And I wouldn't keep going if you didn't keep coming back for more. So I appreciate that. There's going to be a little bit of a change here. I'm adjusting some things here in my group coaching program. You've heard me talk about the fact that it's an evergreen program, meaning there's no kind of start and stop date. However, I'm actually going to be changing this back to a start and stop date program. This is always a lesson, whether you're in your health or you run a business, if that's the thing that you do, is to try things. And sometimes those things that you try don't work, right? Have you ever been on your health journey and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. And then it's like, oh, that was not a good idea. That did not work very well, right? And it's okay to try things and them not go how you kind of think that they are going to go. And that's kind of what happened with group coaching. I'm just gonna be super honest. It's a little bit flat. There's not a lot of engagement in there, and that's just what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and try to sugarcoat shit. It is what it is. So I think it's just lacking structure, and it was very structured before. And if you know anything about me, I love structure. I'm a structured person, and so I think without it, it is not getting even the attention that it honestly deserves from myself. So we are going back to a full-blown structured program. I'm very excited about it. Don't have an exact launch date. Exactly when, but a new program will be launched, Fat Loss Basics Group Coaching. I would look for that probably around the 7th of October. That'll take us right basically into the holidays, into Thanksgiving, into that 8-week program. Then we'll probably do I did it last year where I did this mini group coaching program from from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and then started a brand new launch again in the new year. It's probably what I'll emulate again. Weird, right? So that is kind of the plan. And again, this is your permission to try things that don't work sometimes, and then just be honest about it. And what can you learn from it? I learned I like structure, and I do better even as a coach with that. So that's what we're going with. Cool. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this whole podcast that I did on Wednesday, where, it was literally, basically somebody calling somebody lazy. Basically somebody saying people who are overweight are lazy. If you didn't listen to this podcast, go back to Wednesday's podcast and listen. If you scroll down, it'll be the one that's right there. So this was egregious. I had people messaging me, asking me who is this guy that is talking? Okay. Now, I'm not even going to say that it's wild, because I'm actually friends with this person on Facebook. And I just for fun went and peeked at his profile, which I don't necessarily do often, but notice that he does eat out in restaurants. Well, guess what, buddy? You're probably, ingesting seed oils that you claim are so terrible for you, but you still manage to go out and do that, right? And this is where the nuance of what I was mentioning in that post was this. It's people are so concerned about the fucking fine print. You're not even looking at the package that you're buying. You're completely forgetting that piece and just moving to the fine print of life. And it's that part doesn't matter as much as what you think it does. Okay. I'm not saying that an overconsumption of sugar isn't bad. An overconsumption of seed oils probably isn't good. Right. But if we are going to be at a place where it's we can't eat anything because we don't know what the fuck is bad, that's where we have a problem. And I mentioned how I had a client that was also commenting on this post, how she would talk about the fact that it's I wouldn't eat fruits and vegetables because they're going to fucking kill me, or oatmeal because it's going to fucking kill me, but I would go eat donuts. And she's like, I can't make it make sense logically. It doesn't even make sense in my head when you think about it. And she would cry about these things. This was her life, right? Not anymore, but it was her life. And we've been together. I say we've been together like we're dating, but kind of 5 months almost now, right around there. Okay. So it's this is a real thing. People are actually having this problem. Okay. And I talked about, personal responsibility, but I'm going to tell you this too. This particular client sent me a message today And she had a bangering of a day yesterday with movement. And she screenshot her Oura Ring tracker and was like, yep, I must be just fucking lazy, right? Fat people just fucking lazy or something along those lines, right? And she had like 17,000 steps, which is more than I had. I'm okay. Like I only got about 10,000, just north of 10,000, 10,432. I only have it because obviously Mission 180. But if this is a real thing, this is a real fucking problem. And so she messaged me this, right? Then today she sent me a message and she got really up in her head about shutting off her Oura Ring because she's not feeling very well. She didn't sleep very well. And she doesn't want the movement part to get in her head. And as I said yesterday, she has me to lean on. If somebody read that, as other people did, because other people were like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Okay. Other people read that and don't have the proper support. Do you think that that is going to be helpful and beneficial to them? No. Do you think that they're going to be able to look at it from a logical standpoint? Probably not. It's all going to be emotional. Okay. And the fact that my client, who has me as a backbone, who has a very aware being of herself and where her process is right now, it still affected her so much so that she wanted to shut that portion of the ring off because she was afraid that resting is going to make her lazy. And then she will be lazy. And then all these things started to come out about the fact that this is something I've been told my whole life, that fat people are lazy. And I was like, and this is the fucking problem right here. That's the problem with that fucking statement. It's a problem. I cannot stand that. Yes, there is an awareness issue. Yes, there is an action issue, but why? Like, why? Why? Even after I remarried somebody and I was quote unquote so fucking happy, did I disrespect myself so fucking much that I got to 250 pounds? How? Why? Why? You can't get out of that life and out of that situation without knowing why I got there or how you got there. Like you can't leave the situation. And then to make a blanket statement that you're just lazy. This woman is not lazy. My client is not lazy. Period. What does she actually have? She has like childhood trauma and childhood upbringing that was disastrous to her self-esteem, her confidence, her lack of knowledge of understanding food. Very similar situation to myself. Very, very similar. And everything and all of her worthiness being based off of her weight. Sound familiar? I know there are so many of you right now with this in your ears that are listening to this saying, yeah, that's me too. I'm not worthy because I am big. I'm not worthy because the scale says this number. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve to be happy. I'm just lazy. I must be just lazy. And then you read some bullshit comment like that somebody puts out there. And then you start internalizing and starting to believe it, that you actually are lazy. See, that's what happened. Even though she knew better, even though she knows better, that shit got into her head. She started to believe, oh yeah, you know what? That's actually something I was told my whole life. So I probably am lazy just now. Where she is tired. She has a family that she takes care of, dogs that she takes care of, a business that she runs. And she has wee babies, little babies. Okay? Like she's not lazy. She's not lazy. But today she's tired. And to eliminate the fact that she felt like, yeah, if I just shut off that part, of this, of my Oura Ring, then even if I am lazy, it won't tell me that I'm lazy. I mean, essentially that's what she said. And that's what she feels. And I told her, I said, I'm going to disagree with this. And this is where a coach, guys, this is where a coach matters. I said, you have every right if you choose to shut off that portion of your ring today. I said, but I'm going to recommend and highly suggest that you don't. And here's why. You have to give yourself an experience that shows you that it is okay to slow down and it is okay to rest. And it does not mean that you're lazy. And it does not mean anything about you. I said, this is why rest is part of Mission 180 for me, because I am the same way. I have childhood trauma. If I wasn't doing something there, if I wasn't cleaning, if we didn't have somewhere to go, blah, 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 I was lazy. I should be doing something at all times to prove my worth so that I'm not lazy, right? This is a real problem. And so I said, I encourage you to keep it on, and I want you to have an experience today where you can sit down and watch a TV show that you enjoy for 30 minutes if you so damn choose to. I mean, fold some laundry if you want to do that, or just sit on your fucking couch and chill out. That's a very acceptable thing to do. And not make it mean something. And not make it mean something about you. I said, so while you are 100% an adult, and I don't have to give you permission or no permission or anything else for you to shut that part of your ring off, I'm going to ask that you try not to do that today. I want you to have an experience where you can slow down, not get 17,000 steps. I don't even care if you get 9,000 steps. You don't have to walk your dog 42 miles. It's okay. I want you to have an experience where you can slow down and not make it mean something about yourself, because that's how you start to learn to slow down. This is why coaching is important. This is why having somebody in your corner is important. This is why. Because had she not been, she would have commented on that post regardless. I already know her. She would have commented on the post because we talk all the time. We talked prior to this all the time. Okay. On social medias. We did this. So she would have commented on that post. And then today she would have felt like an absolute piece of garbage. And it still happened even with my support. She still started internalizing it. You have to be aware of what you're doing, right? And another thing that I said, people, like I told her, because I'm getting a lot more active on TikTok. If you don't follow me on TikTok, please go follow me on TikTok. That'd be cool. I should add my little thing in there for you guys to go follow me on TikTok. But, people can't understand that getting to 250 or 300 pounds or, being 50 pounds overweight, whatever that number looks like for you, it doesn't have to be any specific number, right? It doesn't happen in a day. Okay. It doesn't happen in a day. We all know this. Happens gradually over time. Maybe you lose some, maybe you gain some more, then you lose some, then you gain some more. Like, this is the MO. Sorry, this is a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I don't care. We're talking about it. And then, as I'm looking at my feed on TikTok, because obviously these are things that I'm talking about. And so, hey, algorithm is going to pump things like this into my algorithm. And I have people there's people on TikTok. They're like, oh, wow, looks like that walking isn't really working. Still fat. I see. Oh, yeah, you're probably just lying about all this work that you're doing. Oh, still fat, right? You guys, it doesn't end in a day. It doesn't go away in a day. We don't just overnight wake up, 35 pounds lighter. Okay. Coming from somebody that was 250 pounds, and I can only speak to my own experience. Just trying to get under that 200 mark took so much work and took a year and a half, I think. Because again, I talk about all the time, I flailed out like a fish out of water for too long without a structured program, without help, without anything. And it took me longer because I didn't do what I should have done, which is get help, which is what I eventually did. And guess what? Got the results. Okay. But it didn't happen in a day. So when people are like, oh, you're still fat. Yeah. Guess what, guys? Fat doesn't happen overnight. You don't get fat in a day. You don't lose it in a day. Right. So it's shit takes time. And people typically who are significantly overweight, there's so much more that comes with this. This isn't as simple as you're just fucking lazy. And I'm really fucking tired of it. Really tired. I might do a TikTok on it, so you might want to go follow me. I'm just saying. Okay, I will leave now. Please be aware of the content that you're consuming on the interwebs. Be aware of what you're listening to. Be aware of the internal conversations you're having with yourself. Be aware of these things because they mean something and they matter. And you matter. And that's why it matters. Okay. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I don't know what we have going on this weekend. Oh, niece and niece's boyfriend's birthdays. What else? Practice. Got swim practice. Gym. kind of a chill weekend. So yeah, that's what we got going on. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Get outside, get some sun on your face, walk if you can, right? Also rest if you need. It doesn't make you lazy. Okay. I'll catch you on the next episode.